Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Bisayo Otokiti, and I'll be taking us through another series of the new venture creation today. And the topic before me today is called feasibility study or feasibility analysis. Please kindly subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed, like the videos, kindly share, then also send me your comments in the comment section below. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. Also put on your notification button so that you know when I upload a new video. Thank you. Today I'll be taking us through feasibility study. It is called feasibility study. It can also be called feasibility analysis. And what does it mean? It is a proposed project to determine whether the business is visible or viable before we go ahead with the business. Basically, what am I saying? The feasibility analysis tells us if the business is viable, if the business is possible, if the business is practicable. Viability and profitability means the same thing. It means if the business is profitable at the same time. So feasibility reports just outline the do's and don'ts of the report. If the business is so profitable and possible and practicable, and it has future prospect, then we can go ahead with the business. The feasibility report is also a well-prepared document that is carefully and well structured in a careful and a well-structured format. And what does it do? To give a bird eye view of the primary issues that is related to the business proposal. Like I said, the feasibility report also talks about the practicability of the project. Then it also identifies any make or break issues that can obstruct the success of the project. Then a feasibility report also provides essential information such as the market, technical, commercial analysis, the target customer, the business idea, and executive summary of what the business is. Then a feasibility report also tells us if the business is worth venturing into or not. The feasibility report and the business plan are not the same thing. The feasibility report is prior to the business plan. It is when the feasibility report has been done successfully and we know that the outcome is that, okay, this business is possible, it is practicable, it is viable. That is when we turn it into a business plan. So let's know that the feasibility report and the business plan are not the same thing. Then also the feasibility report just does a critical analysis of the project. My late dad used to say the feasibility report is a walkabout report. It shows the in and out of that project or proposed project that you have in mind. Let's take for example, I want to start a bakery, or I want to start a farm, a poultry for example. And what do I need to do? I have to go and I have to study if they need a particular weather or not. How many chicken or chicks am I getting? I have to study what is their turnover rates on maybe monthly basis or weekly basis. I have to study all that before going into that business. If I say at the end of the day that the research that I've carried out, then the information I have is sufficient and the report I'm getting is tilting towards profitability, then I can go into the business. There are many other examples that you can look at, though I can look at. Then what are the formats of a feasibility study? We have the Canadian format, we have the American format, we have the Indian format, we have the Taiwan format, but most importantly we also have the Nigerian format. There are other formats that I've not mentioned, but peculiar to this course I've just decided to mention all those 5 formats. Then how do we write out a feasibility report now? How do we write out a feasibility report? The first thing on our outline on the format of a feasibility report, the Nigerian format of a feasibility report, is the executive summary. And what do we mean by an executive summary? An executive summary is a document that summarizes the entire work you have done, the entire research that you have carried out. If you are carrying out a research on a poultry, if I want to invest in a poultry or in a fish farming or in any business, I want to see if this business is going to be able to sustain me, if it's profitable, if it's practicable, if it's possible, and at the end, how much profit am I making. So the executive summary just summarizes the entire project, what you have in the research, your findings about the business you have investigated into. That's what the executive summary is. Then another important element, the second element that is also important, is called the introduction and general information about the product you have researched into, about the product you have carried out a feasible research into, about the product that you are now seeing that you are now hoping that it will be profitable, it will be practicable, it will be successful over there. So the next element is called introduction and general information. And under introduction and general information, what are the elements, what are the things that we need? We need to know the name of the product or the service. We have to have a reliable address that we can locate. If you have not started the business, it's just you are laying the foundation for the business, that is this business going to be profitable or possible or not. Then what is the usage of the product, what is the usage. Then also another important element is the project description analysis. It means where is your location, is there any physical infrastructure available, what are the raw materials that are key to you. Like we did the business model canvas, who are your key suppliers, what is your key resources, what is your key material, what service or product are you rendering to the final consumer. The another one is called market analysis. Market analysis is who are your target customers, who do you intend to target. For me that I have a YouTube channel, who do I target? I'm targeting between the age of 15 to 40. It's not that people above 40 cannot look at the materials or watch the video on you, but my major target are people of like minds, young people, maybe in school or writing a project or carrying out a research, or wants to know one thing or the other about feasibility report or business plan. But before you go into anything of such, you must have your target customer. Then also another important element is your sources of finance. How do you intend to raise finance? Is it friends and family? Is it personal savings? Is it through an angel investor or venture capitalist? And like that, you should also know that. Then your marketing strategy, how do you intend to make these goods and services get to the final consumer? Your production strategy, economic and commercial analysis. Then lastly, your organizational strategy. What is the structure of the organization that is involved in that feasibility analysis, or that wants to produce that product or services, or that wants to render that service rather. Then another important thing we look at are the types of feasibility studies. And the first type of feasibility studies we'll be looking at is called the technical feasibility. And what does it do? It helps organization determine whether the technical resources can meet the capacity, and whether the technical resources and the team can meet the capacity of converting the idea into a working system. I have said two important things. I said the technical feasibility determines or helps us to determine whether the technical resources and the technical team can have the capacity of converting the idea into a working system. Then we also have economic feasibility. Some other materials have called economic feasibility financial feasibility. It just serves as it helps us to determine the cost and benefit analysis of the project. Is it viable? What is the cost involved? What is the benefits to be achieved from committing into this product or that service? Then another feasibility we look at is called the market feasibility. And like I said, that for market analysis, for every product or service you want to render, or services you want to render, you must know the type of industry that service or that product is. You must know the prevailing market. You should also think about probability future growth. Then you should look at your competitors and potential customers. Then you should also be able to project for your sales over a period of time. But one thing is also very important. You must know your target customer. You must know your target audience, which is very, very key. Then another type of feasibility we are looking at is called organizational feasibility, and this basically tells us about the organizational structure of the business. Then another one we'll look at is called the legal feasibility analysis, and this investigates whether any aspect of the proposed business has a conflict with any legal requirements or laws like zoning law and other laws that are related to government, the internet, the social media, the www.com and like that. So it just gives us a legal perspective of what we are doing. Then we also have operational feasibility, and operational feasibility examines how a project plan satisfies the requirement identified in the requirement analysis. It helps us to know or to satisfy the requirement identified in the requirement analysis. Then the last one we'll be looking at is called scheduling feasibility, and in scheduling feasibility, an organization estimates how much time the project will take to complete or to be launched into the market, or how long we the product that we have researched into will finally become a product, or are we dropping it eventually. Then another important thing is, what are the importance of feasibility reports? Like I said, the feasibility report and the business plan are not the same thing. The feasibility report is prior to the business plan, so it means that the feasibility report shows us the roughness of the business. It shows us all the hidden elements of the business. It shows us whether we are to go ahead with the business or we are to stop. It shows us there are a lot of benefits of carrying out a feasibility report before going into any product or when you want to render any service. So some of those important elements of the feasibility report have been listed there. Like I said, it identified the reason not to proceed. If this business is not viable or is not visible, why proceed into the business? There's no point proceeding. Then it aids our decision making on the project, because by the time you know that this business is viable, it means that you have to fast track some process to get to produce the product or render the service. But once you know that this business is not viable, you drop it, then pick up other projects. It identifies new opportunities, it improves the project team focus. Then it also helps us to narrow down the business alternative, just to mention a few. Then the last thing we'll be looking at are constraints of the feasibility analysis. Basically, there are three constraints. The first one is called the internal project constraints, and the internal project constraint could be technical, it could be technological, it could be resources, it could be human, it could be financial, it could be any type of resources. Then it could be our budget. Then we also have the internal corporate constraints. The internal corporate constraint could be marketing, it could be import or export decision making and like that. Then we have the external constraints, which are logistics, environment, laws and regulation. Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.